What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about NFL 2K and Madden, why we're actually closer to having competition back than ever before, and why we could see a simulation game from NFL 2K in a few years. Now, today is a good day. I mean, first haircut since quarantine. It is a great day, so I figured why not bring some great news, what I think is great news, by kind of breaking down the new deal that the NFL has with EA. Also kind of talking about why I think 2K will get a chance to make a simulation game again at some point, even if it is a few years out, and why even some of the arcade games that 2K will be putting out soon could actually be really good. So we're going to get to all of that in just a minute. If you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, maybe you're lurking the channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you want to always be updated on Madden 2K news and stuff like that. Madden 21 news is going to be dropping really soon, probably starting next week, so you don't want to miss those videos. We just hit 265K, so you guys have been killing it. Up next is 266. Let's get that done. So I'm going to go off of face cam because I wrote a lot of like bullet points down that I want to touch on, a lot of things that I want to make sure to mention, so I don't want to be looking off the camera a lot and, you know, missing any of the points that I want to make. So we're just going to hear my voice for the rest of the video. Let's get into it. Okay, so as many of you know already, about a week or so ago, the NFL and EA reached a new deal to keep EA as the exclusive NFL rights holder for simulation football games, meaning Madden will be the only quote-unquote simulation game for the next 5 to 6 years, and 2K still has their separate deal in place with the NFL. Nothing has actually changed for 2K as of yet. They can still produce arcade games. They're already working on one. They said 2021 the first arcade game will come out, but they do plan to release multiple games. Now, a lot of people, of course, didn't like this because we were hoping maybe, hey, we'd get competition back. They would let both companies make it, because I think most people don't want just EA or just 2K. They want both because it's going to bring out the best in both and give them something to strive a little bit more for, to have to battle against each other. Now, a lot of people are upset because the NFL once again renewed their deal with EA, but a lot of people are still excited because 2K is at least back in the football or the NFL gaming business, so we're still going to get a different type of NFL game, which is nice. But let's talk about why we're actually closer to competition than ever before. For the last 16 years, EA has been really the only NFL game. They've been the only NFL game. Obviously, 2K put out the All-Pro Football 2K8 game in 2007, but that was not an NFL licensed game. It was generic teams and things like that, and didn't have any current players in it. So for 16 years, it's just been EA and Madden, but we're now, even though the deal just got renewed, we've never been closer, and I'm going to tell you why. Because one of the biggest things we learned about this shortly after the deal was renewed, that I haven't even talked about yet on the channel because found out kind of a little bit afterwards, is that EA was actually really close to losing the exclusive license. It's the closest they have ever been to losing it. They were still gonna be able to make Madden, but it was close to where they were gonna let other companies be able to make a simulation game as well. They actually allowed these other companies to pitch them their ideas and what they would do with the license and things like that, which is a pretty big deal. The fact that they were even willing to listen and were considering opening it up, you know, we haven't really seen that happen over these last 16 years, so that's number one. Now, they did say that EA kind of blew everybody else away with their presentation, which at first I was kind of surprised to hear that, because I feel like, you know, 2K, Sony, like, these people can give a good presentation. They've put out good products. They can make good sports games. They do make good sports games. But it doesn't really shock me the more that I think about it, because EA is very good at marketing, and they are good at that type of thing. I do believe they could pitch, you know, a good future. It said that they pitched them on innovation and a whole bunch of other things. Now, the thing with EA is that they really haven't been that innovative over the last decade. Sure, Ultimate Team was innovative, whether, you know, you like it or not. A lot of people don't like what it has done to the sports landscape, but it changed the sports landscape, and every, you know, company copied it and put it in their game. This year, adding Superstar KO, you could argue maybe that's like the next step of like something that's new that you don't really see in sports games that much. But outside of that, not a whole lot of innovation. So when they said that they pitched them on innovation, number one, obviously that's exciting, because while Madden is still the only simulation game for the next few years, if Madden can get better, that's always a good thing as well. But the fact that they let these other companies pitch and they were considering it is a big deal. That's part one. Now, part two is the fact that 2K is back in the, you know, their foot's back in the door. They're back in bed with the NFL, even if it is just for arcade games right now. That's a big deal because for like I said, these last 16 years, we haven't had that. So you have EA almost losing the license, and you have 2K back in business with the NFL. And what I truly think is the main reason they left it exclusive for the next few years and they renewed the deal, number one, obviously they make a lot of money with EA, not even just from like microtransactions and game sales. I think the NFL actually gets a small percent of that, so that percentage doesn't really move the needle for them in terms of the money they make as a company. But they obviously got, you know, over $1 billion for the license. But the thing is, 2K, Sony, they could pay that amount too. It's not like EA was the only company willing to pay that much for the license. In fact, back in 2004, when they first did the exclusive deal, 2K actually offered more money than EA back then, but the NFL still went with EA, probably for a number of different reasons at the time. So the money isn't really the issue here. But I guess the way the NFL sees it for the time being, hey, you know, this was just the most successful Madden of all time in terms of like engagement, player growth, and things like that. The money's steady, it's coming in. Why rock the boat right now? We'll just stick with EA. But with 2K, they're going to watch what they do over here, because believe me, people are going to support the hell out of the 2K games, even if they are arcade. Two reasons. Number one, there's still a place for arcade games. We have not had any like really true arcade football games in a long time. I'm talking NFL Blitz, NFL Street. You know, we haven't had anything like that, and those do have a place. You know, I think kids would love those games, but even some of us as adults, because of the nostalgia that they bring, those are fun pick up and play games that have a place. So they're going to do well because of that, but they're also going to do well because people are happy to see 2K back. They want to support them, and most people know that by supporting 2K, if the NFL sees 2K getting a lot of support with these games, that gives them even more reason to let them make a simulation game in a few years when this contract is up. Now, one of the other main reasons I think they stuck to the exclusive deal with EA is because, this is really a big thing that a lot of people aren't considering. Nobody else has a game ready to go. Sony, 2K, whoever, they would have to build a new game. It would take 2, maybe even 3 years. It takes a little bit to like really get a new thing going. It's going to take time. Madden, because they've been the exclusive game for so long, they already have a game. They just update it. They put on top of it every year, add a few new things. Some years they don't add much, some years they add a little bit more, whatever the case, and they have a game ready to go every year. So even if they opened the license up right now, none of these other companies would have a game ready to go. And I think partially the NFL looks at that and they say, like, we don't want to give the license to somebody that's not going to have a game ready for 2 to 3 years. But now that 2K is back in the door, they can monitor what 2K is doing. Let's say 2K puts out a couple games over the next 2 years, 2021, 2022. They get a lot of support, sales are good, engagement is good, which I 100% think is going to happen just off the fact that it's 2K and the NFL alone. Now 2K can come to the NFL and say, hey, look what we're doing. Because for the NFL, the way they see the video game is 100% just to grow the brand of the NFL. That's all they care about. It's not even the actual dollar amounts for like the NFL license and things like that. Yes, of course they like the money, but for them, the main play is grow the brand, get more people actually interested and excited about the NFL, and that's more money for them on the back end. That's more long-term money because you're getting more loyal fans who are going to spend money over years and years with you as the NFL and not just spend money on your NFL product video games, right? This is the same reason the NFL is doing more games outside of the USA every year. They're changing rules to make the game more exciting because, I mean, they are just trying to grow the brand to be as big and as better as they possibly can, and that's where they see the video games. So they know that EA does that for them. Whether you believe it or not, EA has a lot of reach as a brand. They help grow the NFL. Now, when 2K comes in, when they get the support and they're showing like, hey, look how much more we can grow it as well, let us have a chance to make a sim game as well. Because if these games are doing good, just imagine what we could do if you let us have the real deal. And look what we have done for the NBA 2K. Look what we've done for the NBA. Look how, because this is one thing that 2K has over, I think, any sports game in my opinion. 2K is so ingrained in like basketball culture, and I just don't feel that any other game, sports game, is on that same level in terms of like, if you are a fan of the NBA, like you pretty much play 2K. Like 2K is a very big deal. Their audience is really huge, and 2K is what made that happen. They grew that with their game over the course of like 15 years, and they've made the NBA a lot more money because of it. So they already have that to show and prove, and then if they can get support on the new games, then they come to the NFL when there's still, let's say there's 3 years left on the exclusive deal for EA, and they're like, hey, Look what we're doing, give us a shot. Because they have said that they are interested in doing simulation again. So if the NFL sees everything is lining up, now the NFL can say, okay, start building a game. Because now they have those 2 to 3 years to build a game while the EA still has their exclusive deal. And then when it comes time to renew the deal again, they can come to the table and say, this is what we've built, this is what we have planned out for the next 5 years, this is what we want to do to put on top of this. And then the NFL is like, okay, we're going to open the license up. Yes, we'll get less for the license because we have multiple, publishers buying it, so the price goes down, but we're going to grow the NFL brand a ton by having more options out there. And I think that is the NFL's plan, because the fact that they're back in business with 2K, to expect them to have just jumped right back into them and let them go all out and make a true NFL 2K game, I think was a little bit, naive of us to even think. I think they want to see 2K show and prove again, even if it is in the arcade space, because they have not made a football game in many years. They want to see them show and prove again, hey, show us that you can put out a good product, show us that it's going to be successful and received well, and then if all that happens, absolutely, we're going to let you back in. And that's what I think is going to happen. And then on the flip side, Madden really, in my opinion, knowing this, should only get better. Because like they said, they blew them away in the presentation. EA had to go in there for the first time probably in the last 16 years and really sell the NFL. Like, truly sell them. Like, look, these are some big changes we have coming. This is why you want to stick with us. And now EA, knowing that they came close to losing the license, and also that 2K is there, even if it's just for arcade, they're still there. They're in the background now, just waiting and working on their thing. EA, this is the most motivated, in my opinion, that they should have been in the last 16 years. The last 16 years, they've been kind of just coasting for the most part. This is the most motivated they could possibly be, because it's the closest they are to actually losing a grip on that exclusivity. So Madden really should get better in theory, and then in a few years we could really see 2K back again. That's what I honestly believe. What do you guys think? Let me know below. Subscribe if you are new. If you're still here at this point of the video, follow me on Twitch. I have been live streaming a few times a week lately, so if you're interested in watching some Madden live streams, I'll have the link below in the comments. Follow me, turn notifications on so you know when I go live. But that's going to be all for today. Enjoyed talking with you guys, and as always, I will see you guys next time.